What you should be buying in June of 2025 when it comes to Pokemon investments. Welcome to the monthly video. It's May 31st, and let me show you real quick what I picked up in May. Pretty big month compared to the past few months. There was finally kind of a buying opportunity with the whole Mayhem 10% store credit thing on TCG Player. I decided to give myself kind of like a $1,000 budget and pick up some items I've been eyeing for a while, and I finally pulled the trigger on. So let's go ahead and get into what I got. First, we're going to start with the singles. And then once we get through all this, I'll show you guys what I'm looking at for this next month. But take a look at this. We got a fat stack of singles this month. This is everything I bought, plus some pulls from packs. So we're going to go ahead and get into this. I did end up buying a few One Piece singles. I don't plan on buying a lot of One Piece singles, but I didn't spend that much money on them. And what I basically did was just pick up a ton of the cheap promos or stuff involving Luffy. These were like $1 a piece. Some of them even less than $1. There's 3 of those ones. How many is this? 4 of this one with Luffy from the One Piece TCG. Only 1 of these. This one was still like $1 though. And then 5 of these Gear 5 Luffy cards. So super cheap promos. They're like $1 each. Maybe they go up to like $5. And then I also picked up a Miss Wednesday card because the live action season 2 is coming out, and I bet you this card goes up when that comes out. What else we got here? Oh yeah, this was the big one from the One Piece cards. This was a tournament, like pre-release tournament winner card. This is like $50 card, but with Miss Wednesday and Luffy in there. I think that's gonna be a pretty underrated card. There's a couple pack pulls. Lacey, Black Kyurem, Xerneas. I picked up a couple Mimikyu promos from the ETBs, and then a big fat part of this stack is some other promos. I went ahead and got 5 of each of these Koraidon and Miraidon promos from Scarlet Valley Base. I do think they're pretty underrated, and I got them in their original like packaging as well. But Koraidon and Miraidon there, 5 of each. I mean, I think in total these are like $4 each. So I mean, not a crazy investment, but I have an okay amount of them now, if I so please to get them. All right, some more pack pulls. We had a few, actually quite a few pack pulls. These are mainly from TikTok content that I get. Big one being Reshiram from Battle Partners. Got a Baxcalibur from one of those sets. A promo Kingdra from Silver Tempest. And then a couple V's and full arts. Nothing crazy there. And this was from the TCG 10% sale. I picked up 4 cards. Well, actually, 3 cards. I picked up 3 cards. This was another pack pull. Milcery AR. What I got? Durant. Oh, I guess we'll go here first. Hydreigon SIR. Been talking about this one for a while. Pulled the trigger on that day. Then we got a Bulbasaur illustration rare. Finally picking one of these up. Decided to get it. And then a Durant special illustration from Surging Sparks. Just kind of, it was like $20. So I'll take a special illustration for $20 almost any day of the week. So yeah, big fat stack, but a lot of these super cheap. A lot of $1 One Piece cards, $4 to $5 promos, and then a couple big hitters then. Now time for the sealed stuff. I went ahead and got a couple more ETBs on the day of the TCG thing. I got 2 of them, just normal ETBs. Got a couple more of those, and they're still dropping, so I might even buy more. Hopefully, maybe I can just find some at MSRP, but I've had 0 luck with that ever since release. This was the most recent pickup. This is a Pokemon Center drop. They advertised 1 Vivid Voltage, 1 Fusion, but they have 2 Fusions, minimum order of 6, 2-packs. Gonna be opening probably 3 of these up for TikToks. Maybe end up opening all of them because this is not something I care to really keep sealed. And maybe I'll just open and keep the Fusion Strike packs. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not sure what the plan is with those. Might keep a couple sealed, but as a pickup this month nonetheless. So 2 ETBs. Went ahead and got myself one of the pouch. Just 1, because I kind of want to have at least 1 of all the prismatic products, just because, I mean, it's kind of like the collector side of me. Also went ahead and got 2 of the binder collections. Got 2 of these. Did not get a super premium collection. Was thinking about it, but I'm glad I didn't because they've dropped quite a bit since that day. And I'll probably end up buying one of those with either store credit or Destined Rivals, which we'll talk about in a bit. So 2 binder collections, and then no booster boxes from the sale, at least Pokemon related. I got a couple One Piece booster boxes. Talked about it last month. I invested in the One Piece. Got a Wings of the Captain OP. Which one is this? OP06. my first box of this. Probably my favorite One Piece set to invest in right now, OP09. I got a second box of this. So those are my two bigger boxes that I got. I'm maybe looking at an OP11 box that just released, and they're somewhat cheap, on the cheaper side. They're like 150, I think, right now. I might buy one of those, and I'll just start collecting at least one box from the new sets of One Piece. Well, yeah, that's the sealed stuff. Bigger month compared to the last few months, and just because the opportunity arose to get some credit back on it, and so I may as well take advantage of it, because I was thinking about buying all of these anyway. Now let's go ahead and get into what you should be looking at for June. So first one here, of course, is Destined Rivals. These have dropped a little bit since release, but honestly, not a lot. I mean, release was just a couple days ago, so what would that have been? 28th. They've dropped like $5 since release. They might continue going. A lot were sold just yesterday for $250. There were some listed for like $240 earlier, and those are getting swallowed up pretty fast. So it seems like $250 to $260 is going to be the price range we stick around at. I'm definitely going to buy at least one of these and use my store credit, because then I'll get an MSRP. But I'm thinking I'm going to pick up a couple. We'll see. I just really want to find some decent deals. I don't want to spend $250 on two of them. We'll see what happens though. ETBs, they didn't see a whole lot of crash. Well, I say that they did actually see a lot of crash. They're down $20. It didn't look like it here at first, but ETBs going pretty strong. A lot of them sold on May 30th. 606 items sold that day. Under $100. If you find these in stores, I think these are good pickups. But if you're going to spend money on Destined Rivals, just go with an ETB or a booster box. I think the big Pokemon hype has gotten a lot of people away from just buying booster boxes and ETBs. Remember, booster boxes are king. ETBs are kind of the prince. Everything else it's tough if you're trying to hold on for a long time. I say that as I bought some binder collections and whatnot, but that's a specialty set. Main sets, booster boxes are king, baby. But booster bundles, they did drop quite a bit. 64, under 40 or under 50 now, $49 there. Pokemon Center ones are kind of what interests me. I don't think there's a decent amount listed. Looks like you're gonna pay at least $175, maybe a little bit more. Must buy all or cancel. This guy's trying to sell all 6 at once. Okay, that's interesting. Small tear in this one. So maybe it looks like you're maybe spending $180, I guess, for a sealed one, and these are not great like sales reviews stores. So I was gonna say, if they were legitimately $168 to $180, I would definitely pick some of these up rather than just a normal one at $100. But it looks like the prices are they're still figuring out the prices here, I think, since release. the drop's a little crazy though. 400 to 180 in a day. So this might continue to drop. We'll see how that market shapes up. ETBs are still on their downward trend. 17% the past 3 months. Only 4% this month. A ton of them sold on the 16th. That was to be expected. And that was at 122. They've dropped around $10 since then, 113. And so I'm saying I might grab a couple more, but that's really only if they drop below 110 is if I'll really consider picking up a couple more. The premium collection, I do want to get one of these at one point. I want to have at least one of these just because it looks sick. The collector in me wants one, but I want to have at least one sealed one for the investment portfolio. So we'll see. 216 market, most recent sale 222. Looks like you're not going to find any at 216, at least on TCG Player. A lot of them sold on the May 16th, 700, and that was for 250. This was right before they released though, so this is why I didn't buy one then, because I knew they might drop at release, and they have 220. MSRP is like $99, I think, or maybe is it 120? I'm trying to think of what that Terapagos one was, but this is a little different. I'm not sure what MSRP is. They're above MSRP for sure, but the price doesn't seem too bad to me considering what they were. However, of course, if you can find them at MSRP, this is 1000% a great buy. I'm really talking like secondary market buys, because still finding Pokemon restocks is kind of tough. A lot of you guys are finding them, so good on you. Definitely get whatever you can at MSRP, depending on what the limits are. Prismatic binder collections in the 60s, they have honestly dropped significantly. 61, they got up a little bit since the sale day there. So in the 60s, I've said it a lot. These were like short printed when it comes to 151. It seems like there's a bit more of these with prismatic, but I think there's just overall a lot more prismatic. And moving on though to 151, speaking of it, I've seen people saying Dollar General is getting a a shipment of these. They've been stocking these into Dollar General, so maybe check your Dollar Generals. I wouldn't really say it's a great secondary market buy, but if you can get it for the $15 MSRP, definitely grab some of these. I got a lot of them over here that I was collecting before the big hype, just because they're $15, and it's 151. 151 is going to be gold in the future. Prismatic maybe towards the same. Interesting one here, surging at 218, down 16% the last 3 months. Was a $250 box at one point. At the start of May, it was a $250 box. Now down to 220. Now, there's a decent amount of these sold on May 16th as well for 237. This is a very interesting one. There were reprint news out, but I guess I didn't expect it to drop this much. I was thinking maybe it drops to 230, sticks around there, but it looks like in the past 10 days even, it's dropped another $20. And I guess let's double check that there's actually some stock at this price. And there's a decent amount listed in the 220s. This is possible. Pick up Surging Sparks. What's the 1 year? It's been above 200 since 2024. We're halfway through 2025 now, and this is the lowest price we've seen since the beginning of December of 2024. So potentially a buying opportunity there. Very much so a buying opportunity, because MSRP for these is 160. So right now we're sitting at, or was it 140? It might be 140. Sorry, 160. I don't know. 160 is something, but it's potential. I'm not going to tell you it's a great buy at the moment, but it's definitely a low point if you've been looking to get some Surging Sparks booster boxes. This is the lowest point you've had in 7 months. Buy low, sell high, baby. So if it's getting low, maybe time to pick it up. Paldea Evolved is not one that I want to say is a buy. Some decent sales on the day, but it's nearing $300, well above Surging. I would still have Surging as the number one set. But price-wise, it's not there. Paldea Evolved, $300 nearly. Yeah, a couple listed there. Pretty close to it. And it's a great set. But, yeah, instead of going down like Surging has this month, it has risen a lot. Not sure what the hype is about that's causing this price rise. Maybe there's a bit of a listing shortage here. You got a lot of Korean ones. 53 listings. What was the Surging one? So double the Surging listings. I don't think it's a pickup. I've been telling you guys to pick it up for a long time. I just wanted to show you the price. Twilight Masquerade, another one that's kind of up the past month or so, 6% from 228 to 240 now. I'm not really sure what that rise has been, but this is when it comes to Scarlet Violet booster boxes, I'm still wary on buying them unless they're the new ones. And even then, these ones are like, because you look at the prices, Surging's now cheaper than Destined. Destined, I think, has a great depth and could definitely be the number one set. It's just hard to give it that name right off the bat. And that's why a lot of people you saw the past month go to Sword and Shield. And if you follow my channel, you know I've been telling you to get Sword and Shield for many months before that rise. I still like a lot of Prismatic products, though. And, of course, anything you can find at MSRP. I'm going to say it over and over because people in my comments act like I don't say it when I say it every video. Now, time for some singles. The single market is also weird. It's so volatile. I don't really like it. As you saw, I only picked up a few big singles, and those are ones that are down big time. Like Hydreigon is down like 40%. It was an $80 card, now in the 50s. Bulbasaur, the one that's not down as much. It's just one that I really wanted. And then, what was the other one I picked up? Durant was like a $40 card when Surgeon came out, now down to around 20. Want to pick that one up. And all the other ones are pretty cheap promos that have been around there for a while. Just plan on picking up. Some of these, though, get pumped up and then drop off pretty heavily. Past 3 months, this Garchomp SIR, it's a pretty mid SIR, not a ton of detail in this card, but it's Garchomp nonetheless. We just had a Cynthia's Garchomp drop. $45 peak here in March. Doesn't sell a lot, but now down to under $30, you can get a near mint copy of this card. Definitely one I want to add to the collection. Always say special illustrations are decent prices, or decent pickups when they're under 30 bucks, I think. The market for some of these cards is very odd. And in a couple cards from now, I'll explain why I really think that. Now, for Roaring Moon, this is a card I picked up in a PSA 9 because it was like the same price. It's down pretty big. Got hyped up to around $60, $40 now. Paradox Rift, a great set in my eyes. I've been talking about Paradox Rift for a while. Another pretty cheap special illustration here is Golisopod EX. Under $20 for this card. You can get a near mint copy. I like special illustrations under $20 as pickups all the time. Now, here's why I find the singles market so weird. Obsidian Flames is a set that's not exactly cheap. Like a booster box of Obsidian Flames is like $220, and the ETBs are not cheap either. Now there is a lot of Obsidian Flames floating around inside of the tins, the stacking tins and whatnot. But this is the chase card here, a Charizard. Everybody likes the Charizards. Still under $60, and it never really, I mean, it got pumped up to 85 during, like, this is around prismatic release time. It's returned down now to where it was around that pump, and it sells decent for a card. It could be better. Quite a few bought on the May 16th. Under $60 for this card. I still think it's great, especially with kind of how Obsidian Flames prices are getting. And then this is the second most expensive card. It's a $20 hyper rare gold Charizard. I mean, I think it's a decent looking card. You can buy damaged ones for $15. And then the third most expensive card is a really cool illustration Ninetales. Now, I'm kind of sticking away from illustration rares for now because I do feel like there's a ton of these on the market. But Ninetales is a very beautiful one. Obsidian Flames, one of the older Scarlet and Violet sets. Still, you can find packs of it all the time within those stacking tins and whatnot. There's kind of seems like the set they throw in to those random tins as one of your pack selections. This one got pumped up to 29, back down to 15, which is what it was at in December. It was a little bit lower than that. And I mean, I'm not sure that it gets down to these prices, but this is a really nice illustration rare card to add to your collection or pick it up, maybe a long-term card hold. And then finally, the underrated things that I think people are going to want to see in the future, as long as they don't bring these back, which they might, they could very well bring these back, is the gold secret rare cards, or the rainbow ones. Sorry, the rainbow cards are, in my opinion, some of the coolest cards from the Sword and Shield era, and some of them are pretty cheap. This one is a bit more of an expensive one because it's the Silver Tempest one, Lugia, the Chase and Silver Tempest, and even the gold Lugia I like. But I ended up picking this one up like a year ago. It hasn't moved much since then, but I still think it's a great card. Like, the rainbows are underrated in my eyes, and I think as a long-term card hold, they could be sought after in the future. Here's another example: is the Machamp from Astral Radiance. It's a $10 market price. There's one listed for $17 there, but $10 for this card could definitely be like a $20 card in a few years. It's possible with how Sword and Shield is, but the card market, it's just hard to tell. Like, some cards don't go up in value at all. That's why everybody will tell you sealed is king, because you look at cards from sets from you look at like Sun and Moon. Some of those boxes, those booster boxes, are like $2,000. And the chase card in there is like $200. But yeah, there's what I picked up this month. Let me know what you guys picked up and what you're looking at in the month of June. There's kind of what I'm looking at. Mainly, it's going to be some Destined Rivals and then maybe a couple singles here and there. But yeah, most likely some Destined Rivals booster boxes. Maybe another One Piece box with the new set that came out. And that's about it for me. Not a whole big month here. Just trying to get some of the new set and then some of the new One Piece set. So see you in the next video.